Oh yeah, tell me about it. He's totally out of control. He told me he wants to run for Parliament.
Lawrence.
I mean... What? Oh, sorry lads. Hiya, I'm Lawrence. I'm a story catcher here at 7 Stories. Myself and the other story catchers have been celebrating World Book Day, which is today, unless you're watching this after the 4th of March. Coming up, we'll be showing you how to make your own miniature book, jumping into the mind of a classic storybook character, and there might even be some celebrity guests. And when I say celebrities, I mean characters from our favourite books. Let's see what Jackie and Mel have been getting up to.
Do you sometimes find it difficult to come up with ideas for stories? Let 7 Stories help. Let's warm up your imagination. This is not a stick. Whoosh. Your turn. Kazaa! Dooby-dooby-doo. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is your imagination warmed up now? So, where do we get ideas for stories? One way is through objects. So here we have an ordinary looking key for an ordinary door. Who does the key belong to? And what door does it open?
So there could be ordinary looking objects that you have at home, but maybe they have a secret or a story. So this is just some old necklace. But did it belong to a witch or a wizard and all their power was in it? And now you've got it, so what are you going to do?
This is a ladle. Is it a soup ladle? Is there a soup dragon? Or is it a ladle for a witch's brew that might turn you into...
And this is just some ordinary bell. I mean, nothing special really, is it? Or is it?
Stories are not always written down. Now we are going to see a story that Mel created.
This is Mel with a story about a bell. Thank you very much.
Shh. This bell has a secret. And I'm going to tell you all about it, but promise not to tell. This bell is a magical bell, and it belonged to my great uncle, Captain Jack Robinson. And he used to sail off to sea to Europe and bring back beautiful cloths and jewels back to the port of Almouth. Now, he was told that this bell, if he rang it and he was in trouble, then help would come. And he thought, what a lot of nonsense. But he thought, it's quite a nice bell, so I'll keep it on the ship. Now, on one of his journeys back, they were sailing across the sea from the port of Amsterdam, and they were about halfway back to Almouth. And everything had been going well, but suddenly the clouds became very dark. It got very windy. You could do the wind if you like. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The waves got stormier and stormier, and the ship got tossed from side to side. Whoosh. There was thunder, there was lightning, and then in the distance, Captain Captain Jack and the crew saw another ship approaching. Oh yes, and on this ship there was a flag, a famous flag, and it was indeed the Skull and Crossbones. Pirates were approaching. Captain Jack and the crew tried to sail as fast as they could, but the pirates gained upon them faster and faster and faster. Now Captain Jack and the crew feared for their lives. But then Captain Jack remembered the bell, and he picked it up, and he rang it, not once, not twice, but 3 times. Now after he rang that bell, they suddenly heard a singing from the ocean. And a rumbling. Rumble, and whoosh, up from the bottom of the ocean appeared a ship that had been there down in the deep for hundreds and hundreds of years. And upon this ship there was a skeleton crew who gained upon the pirate ship and jumped on board. And the pirates drew their swords. The skeletons drew their swords, and they began to fight. Wish, 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 wish. You could pretend to fight as well. Wish, wish, wish. Now, who do you suppose won that battle? Of course, how do you defeat the skeleton crew? The skeletons were victorious, and they pulled the pirate ship down, down, down to the bottom of the ocean. And then their ship just disappeared. Captain Jack and the crew were so happy. Yay! And they sailed on back to port. Everything became beautifully calm, and they had no more problems. Now from that day, Captain Jack thought, maybe this bell works after all. And he always took it with him whenever he went to sea. And he passed it down through the family, so that if ever anybody goes to sea, or by plane even, they can ring it, and if they get in trouble, help will appear. But that's not its only secret. It is said that if you ring it on land, a mermaid gets her legs.
I wonder what stories this mug could appear in. Up next, a familiar face here at 7 Stories. He's done rather well for himself over the past year, and now he's got his own talk show. Colin's Characters. Colin, snap everywhere, bapoo.
Well, howdy doody everybody, it's me, Colin, and welcome to Colin's Characters, where I talk to all your favorite Starbuck folk. Now today's guest is the lovely, sweet, punctual Miss Veruca Salt. Thank you for being on time. It's so good to have you here. Now, I am a big fan of Willy Wonka. Yeah, what a man. Now, tell me, what is he like?
I thought this interview was about me, Veruca Salt, not that ridiculous old man.
Yes. Okay, well, you're quite right. How silly of me. Well, let's talk about how you got that ticket, eh? That must have been quite a challenge, yeah?
Oh my goodness, it was so difficult. I mean, I stomped and I kicked and I screamed and said, Daddy, I want a golden ticket. And usually Daddy gets me what I want, but he couldn't get me one. I was so angry. So Daddy got all of his workers in his peanut factory to go and get all of the chocolate bars and open them all. And eventually we found one. Daddy always gets me everything I want.
I mean, oh, how lovely. What a lovely story. Now I hear you're an animal lover. Isn't it nice? Now, being an animal myself, I find this a charming quality in a guest. Tell me, do you have pets?
Oh yes, I've got so many pets. I've got 2 dogs, 4 cats, 6 bunnies, 2 parakeets, 3 canaries, 1 green parrot, a bowl of goldfish, a cage of white mice, and a hamster. But I do not want a squirrel anymore. I do not like squirrels.
Oh, yes. I heard there was a little bit of a incident at the factory involving a squirrel. Can't you talk about that?
Daddy told you not to ask that question.
Daddy? Oh, that was your agent? Oh, I see. Okay, well, I'll stay quite clear on that. But, well, you may not have got a squirrel, but I heard you were angling for an Oompa Loompa. Is that right?
I didn't get an Oompa Loompa.
Oh.
Daddy promised me he would get me an Oompa Loompa at the end of the day, but our day was cut short by the squirrels.
Oh, you poor thing. What are you doing here? Where did she go? Veruca Salt, everybody! Gosh, what happened there? What did you... Oh, where did you go?
Where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. Oh, those wild things sure know how to party. Can't remember the last rumpus I went to. And Max, what a character. I wonder what's going on in that head of his.
And this week in the hot seat, we've got Max from Where the Wild Things Are. Max, do you think you could sit down, please?
Yeah.
Hello. Now, Max, I hear you've got a superpower. What is it?
I can control monsters.
Really? And how do you control monsters?
Have to stare into their eyes without blinking once.
Wow.
Like that.
And will they do whatever you want then?
Yeah.
Like what?
But they give us piggybacks and dance around, rumpusing, and we sing.
You sing?
Yeah.
What do you sing?
Rumpus, 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 rumpus.
All right, yes, I get it. And do you like sailing, Max?
It's my boat.
Is that your boat?
It's called Max, my boat.
Of course it is. And where do you go in your boat?
It's where the wild things are.
Naturally. And Max,
Yeah.
is there a little bit of monster in you, do you think?
Yeah. That's what my mum says.
Does she?
Yeah.
Why does she say that?
Because I chase the dog with a fork.
Oh.
And sometimes I hang my teddy.
Oh dear. Right. And Max, last question.
Right, can I go?
One more question. What is your favourite book?
Not Now, Bernard. It's by David McKee. Bye!
Bye, Max.
And what are you reading?
I'm reading this zine that I made about my friend Colin. It's really good. It's got a little story in it.
That superb piece of craftsmanship. You made that.
Yeah, all me. But you could make one too. In fact, anyone could make one from the comfort of your own home.
Who are you talking to?
Greetings, fellow Craftonians. Today, in this zine tutorial, we will be learning how to make a miniature book, like this one here. For this craft, you will need one sheet of A4 paper and one pair of scissors. Are you ready? Then let's begin. First of all, take your sheet of paper fold it in half, like this. Like this. Neatly, please. Very slightly better. Then, fold it in half again, nice and neat. But don't take all the livelong day. That's it. Then, fold it in half once more. Excellent. I think that's enough folding for today. Now, let's unfold it. The whole thing. Excellent. Now use the crease lines as a guide and make an incision along this line here. No, that one, that's the one. Okay, so fold it in half like this and then cut along this line here to make the incision. Wonderful. Now unfold it. Now fold it the other way. That's it. Now pick it up and do this. Then fold it like this. Then fold it like that. Then fold it again. And again. Now it's a book. Wonderful.
Oh, sorry. It's nearly the end of the show, but there's just time to head over to Colin the Crocodile again for another edition of Colin's Characters. Oh, and just a warning. This interview might contain some spoilers, so if, like me, you haven't yet read Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, you might want to cover your ears and close your eyes. La 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 la. Colin, snap, happy, grab, that poop.
Well, howdy doody, everybody. It's me, Colin, and welcome to Colin's Characters, where I talk to all your favorite storybook folk. Now, today's guest is Professor Dolores Jane Umbridge of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. Yes.
I think you'll find that, Mr. Colin, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Not only am I Professor of Defense Against the Dark Arts, but I have been made Hogwarts High Inquisitor by the Minister for Magic himself, Cornelius Fudge.
Oh, I am so sorry, High Inquisitor. Well, that is a very fine, exciting title. What does it mean exactly?
It means, Mr. Colin, that there will be changes at Hogwarts, because some changes will be for the better, while others will come in the fullness of time to be recognized as errors of judgment. Meanwhile, some old habits will be retained, and rightly so, whereas others, outmoded and outworn, must be abandoned. Let us move forward, then, into a new era of openness, effectiveness, and accountability, intent on preserving what ought to be preserved, perfecting what needs to be perfected, and pruning wherever we find practices that ought to be prohibited.
What does that mean?
It means I'm a school inspector.
Oh, now I see. How interesting. Well, I'm sure those teachers are all up to scratch. Oh, no? Are they not so good?
I fear that there has been substandard teaching at Hogwarts for quite some time.
Oh, I had no idea there was such a problem. What exactly is the problem?
Well, there has been some questionable employment choices by the current headmaster, Albus Dumbledore. That divination teacher, for example. And I think that divination is a very dated subject. And don't get me started on the employment of that half-breed oaf, Hagrid. Do you know any half-breeds?
Oh, no, ma'am. I mean, my cousin is part alligator, but we don't talk about him.
Well, It is rather strange to have a crocodile conducting this interview.
Well, I am a very popular and famous crocodile, don't you know? And I hear you teach a famous boy in your class, yes?
Oh, do you mean that delightful Slytherin boy, Draco Malfoy?
Goodness gracious, no, not that creep. I'm talking about Harry Potter. You know, Harry Potter, the boy who lived. Oh, well, I think him and that Hermione Granger have some crazy chemistry. I do hope those kids get together at the end. If they don't, that would be pretty unrealistic, don't you think? Can you talk about that?
No, I would not care to talk about that.
Oh.
Potter is a troubled child who is disruptive and arrogant in my classroom.
I heard he's been shouting in class about that naughty Mr. Voldemort man. Oh my, is your throat okay? I think I have some crock-paw down here somewhere. Let me just check.
It's actually you-know-who.
Oh, I'm so sorry, my mistake.
Besides, any lies that have been told by Mr. Potter, encouraging conspiracy theories, are completely fabricated. He who must not be named has not returned, so there is nothing to worry about.
Oh, well, thank goodness for that. That is such good news. You know, Dolores. Can I call you Dolores?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you know, I feel like such a silly little crock of fool. I've been talking to a witch for a while now, and I haven't even asked about magic. Could you maybe perform a few spells for us?
Well, one is not a performing monkey, but when in Rome. How about this one? Wingardium Leviosa.
Ah! Oh my goodness. Oh, well, that was something. But do you have any spells that might not give me a concussion?
I have the perfect one. Silencio. And that is the end of the show.
Snap, rabbity, crab, babu, Colin. La 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 la. Is it over yet? Champion. And that's the end of the show. Thank you for joining us, and thank you so much everyone who sent us videos telling us about the books that you love. We always like to hear about the stories that you're enjoying, and we can't wait to welcome you back into the building soon. Read a book!
Thanks for coming to spend some of your day, especially this amazing World Book Day, with us here at 7 Stories. But before we go, we'd like you to see what some of our friends have to say about their favourite books and World Book Day. Thank you.
I'm Bill, and this is my favourite story, Mug the Forgetful Cat.
And why do you love this book, Bill?
Because I like going reading it. My name is James, and I have my whole collection of my favourite books. They're called Horrid Henry books, and he is my favourite boy ever. And I've watched a couple of Horrid Henry programmes on TV.
Why do you love this book?
Because it can teach me how to play very good tricks on my parents. My name is Iris, and my favourite book is The Ichabod because it's a mystery. Hello, this is Ashton, and this book is called The Everyday Journey of Ordinary Things. I like it because it knows where we get things from all over the world. Bye. My name is Arthur. I'm 7 years old. I like Me, Mr. P book because it has a polar bear in and my name Arthur in.
Hello, my name is Alison, and this is Grumpy Frog by Ed Veer. And I love this book because sometimes I live with a bit of a grumpy frog, and this book helps us talk about our feelings.
Hi, my name's Ariana, and this is my favourite book called Ariana Red Riding Hood. because it has good illustrations and best of all, it includes me. Hi, I'm Ellen and I'm 6 and this is my cat George. I love this Unipigo book because it's got all of the things I like. It's got mess and unicorns and pigs and princesses. I love this book.